Briefing by the River State Conflict Management Alliance at the SRP Regional Office, Port Harcourt, on Tuesday, 24 February 2015. Permit me to start this briefing by telling you a bit about the State Conflict Management Alliance, SCMA. The State Conflict Management Alliance is an initiative supported by the Nigeria Stability and Reconciliation Project. The Alliance in River State was inaugurated in September 2014, basically to facilitate the process of strategic partnership building to provide a coordinated platform to ensure inclusivity and accountability that would incorporate citizens' voices in the deliberations of state-level security sector activities. The River State Conflict Management Alliance is focusing its activities on improving coordination between security agencies and civil society groups to achieve improved professionalism and capacity to respond to emergencies and conflicts. This process would also ensure greater confidence in the security services' capacity to fulfill their responsibilities, higher levels of trust in the security agencies, and better understanding of information flow on issues that underlay and trigger conflict in the state. The main issue for today. I assume we all know that our dear River State is fast becoming a theater of political violence, as revealed every passing day since the conclusion of party primaries some months ago. In recent months, the flagrant use of intemperate language and physical assaults on dissenting political voices has become too scary to ignore. From the series of attacks on APC campaign rally in Okrika to the physical attacks of persons in Rumepriko, politics in River State has speedily moved away from issues to violence. Many people are worried that the political conflicts in the state will be bloodier in the coming days, if not curbed, particularly during and after the elections. While the River State Conflict Management Alliance unequivocally condemns the violent conflicts in parts of the state, in which scores of people were reportedly killed and property worth millions of naira destroyed, we call on the security forces, particularly the police, to go after the perpetrators and bring them to justice. However, we strongly believe that nipping these acts of terror in the bud by the security agencies would be more beneficial and reassuring to the society. The police and other security agencies charged with the responsibility of maintaining law and order must therefore strengthen their intelligence gathering mechanisms to cope with the challenges ahead. Gentlemen and women of the press, as part of our mandate to contribute to peace building in River State, the River State Conflict Management Alliance has decided to draw the attention of all governorship candidates in the state particularly the governorship candidates of the All Progressive Congress, People's Democratic Party, and Labour Party to the commitment they made at the signing of the Peace Pact, and to call on them to, as a matter of public good, to delivering issue-based campaigns to their supporters and the electorate at all times. At the same time, they must refrain from making utterances that encourage antagonistic behavior by their supporters, which are likely to incite violence or jeopardize social cohesion. Although transitional times are usually wrought with heightened competition, political parties and their candidates must know that underneath the differences between them are shared commonalities. We believe that elections are a contest of ideas among candidates and their political platforms. We therefore challenge parties and their candidates to focus their campaigns on issues and not might. It is by focusing on issues that the political parties will release the understanding of the electorate on the policies they intend to implement if they are voted into office. There's no doubt that the spate of political violence in Rivers State is already having a devastating toll on the psyche of voters. Many voters are already worried and may prefer to stay indoors, while others are planning on moving to safer areas if the wanton and barbaric acts of politically motivated violence remain unabated. Of course, we can tell the catastrophic effect of voter apathy on our fledgling democracy. Gentlemen of the press, imagine you live in Okrika and you witness or heard of the gory incident of 17 February 2015. I am sure you will be scared stiff to come out on election day to cast your vote. Elections held in the past show that even greater electoral violence was perpetrated on election day than the days leading up to the polls. The question is, are we likely to have more evil days ahead? Our politicians should know that the peace and tranquility of Rivers State are more important than the selfish ambition of an individual. Violence has assumed a greater chunk of our political space because a good number of politicians have pushed down the throat of everyone that there are no options but more violence. It is of great concern that voters in Nigeria have remained too docile to take any action against violence-thirsty politicians. At this time, voters cannot continue to appear prostrate and helpless in the face of the attacks on humanity and property by politicians and their miscreant supporters. The power of the electorate to choose who to represent them has now been enhanced with the assurance from the Independent National Electoral Commission that their votes will count as a result of the introduction of the card reader technology. We therefore urge the electorate to massively revolt with their votes against any candidate or political party that, through their words or actions, orchestrate acts that can cause bodily or mental harm to members of other political parties or the general public. Finally, ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me inform you that we plan to follow up with advocacy visits to the party secretariats in Rivers State to drum up support from the party executive to the fact that the peace accord signed by the candidates must be complied with. Recent events showed that even the political parties are to a large extent unfamiliar with how important the peace agreement is. Maybe why the parties are aiding their candidates and supporters to disrespect the accord. Let me thank you for coming. We will take some of your questions now. God bless you.
Moderation of interviews with journalists, with politicians, the ways in which the media practitioners themselves moderate that discussion can make it less sensational as would be. So these are some of the investments the program is running. We've also supported NOA, the National Orientation Agency, to begin to look at this campaign, against hate speech. A major intervention towards social media bloggers, people that do blogs in the media, again, to train them on how to be sensitive, to the context of conflict and the ways in which they do their blogs, the way they do their, online media chats and things like that. So it's really, and also on the other hand, also even the security agencies, the program has invested resource, and in 2 weeks also will have one in Port Harcourt here in supporting the training of spokespersons of security agencies in terms of how they present issues to the press, present issues to the public in conflict sensitivity. So there's a recognition that there's conflict in the environment, so different avenues for mitigation. So the program doesn't seek to take over functions of institutions that exist to perform those functions. What the program seeks to do is to play an enabling role, to enhance the capabilities of these institutions to better discharge their functions. So part of what this public briefing seeks to do, again, is to raise awareness amongst the Nigerian public, the Rivers public in particular, to know that it is also part of their responsibility to demand for issue-based campaign, to demand, to mobilize against violence, so you could have peace marches, in the state, different groups say, politicians who don't like the way they are mobilizing. It is possible for civil society groups to begin to take up monitoring. And actually part of what this press statement is saying, that it's possible for citizens to organize and say, any politician or any party that we see, to threaten, to come and say, if we see you mobilizing violence, we are encouraging violence, we would actually mobilize whatever group we have influence over to vote against you. So that is the objective of this, really to energize, sensitize different actors in society, whether they be state, institutions, or the public, to take action, to know that they have agency, that they can make a difference in this election, whether it's going to be credible and non-violent, or whether it's going to be the other way around. So that is essentially what the program seeks to do.